This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Stacy Van Dyke.
And I'm Justin Betty. Tonight, for the first time, we are getting a look at the scene in Becker County. This is where deputies found two bodies inside a home this morning.
Valley News Team's Nishay Taylor just got back from the area where the sheriff's office and the Minnesota BCA are still investigating. She joins us live now in studio with the latest. Nishay?
Stacy, Justin, after 9 this morning, deputies were called to a home just along County Highway 6, right outside of Detroit Lakes. When authorities arrived, they found the bodies of a man and a woman. 2 dogs were also found dead in the home. As of this evening, law enforcement remained on the scene trying to determine exactly how this incident unfolded. And tonight, Becker County Sheriff Todd Glander is extending condolences to the family.
Obviously, it's a tragic event, and we feel for the family and friends of the deceased.
Now, we're still waiting to learn who these people are and how they died. The bodies were sent off for an autopsy, and authorities are notifying the family.
Thanks to Shay. Sheriff Glander says the incident appears to be isolated and the public is not in harm's way.
In other news tonight, happening right now, first responders from all across the country are preparing to make their way to Florida. Fargo Red Cross volunteer Paul Hankey is driving the emergency response vehicle from Fargo all the way to Florida ahead of Hurricane Ian. A volunteer from Fergus Falls is riding with him.
Yeah, and right now that Category 3 storm is churning in the Gulf of Mexico, just west of Key West. Its path shifted a bit today, more to the east. It's now expected to make landfall between Fort Myers and Sarasota tomorrow night, as anywhere between a Category 3 and a Category 4, forecast to bring 15 to 20 inches of rain to some places.
For more on Ian and a look at our local weather, here's Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch?
All right, you're looking at Jupiter and her moons out there in the east-southeast sky right now from our view here in South Fargo. Big, brightest thing in the sky right now is Jupiter, and it's about as close as it's gotten to Earth in 70 years. And the 3 little dots there, Jupiter's moons. Get out and take a look if you have a chance to yet this evening. And don't worry if you miss it tonight. Jupiter will remain fairly close to Earth and quite visible as it has been for over the last several weeks. Now, here's a look at Ian, churning its way through as a Category 3. Now, on this side of the storm, the winds, well, they're driving that way from the north and from the east, but these winds here are in the same direction as the movement of the storm. And because the movement is opposite the winds, then the surge is a little lower on this side of the storm as it is on this side. So right now it looks like it's making a beeline for the Fort Myers area. And here's the latest, about 120 miles from making landfall. The forecast shows as we go towards your afternoon, late afternoon, early evening tomorrow, Category 4, here's the eye, here's Fort Myers. On the east side is where that greatest surge could be. So right now it does look like it is continuing its track up to the north and east and will head towards Orlando by tomorrow night late. Now, we have a freeze warning and a frost advisory in our area. It's going to be very cold. In fact, it is very cold. If you're in the freeze warning area in central Minnesota, temperatures will be 4 hours below freezing. That means a killing freeze, and the growing season will end. Look at this. It's freezing right now for Babe the Blue Ox. Paul Bunyan has his flannel on. Will you need your flannel in the morning? You betcha. I'll have hour-by-hour details in your forecast coming up here in a moment.
Thanks so much, Hutch.
Yep. Tonight, the Fargo School Board voted unanimously to approve their final budget for the 2022-2023 school year. Just minor changes from the budget that they presented and approved in June. You can read the full budget at the link to this story on our website, valleynewslive.com.
The Fargo police chief is shedding a little more light on a situation that had people in South Fargo questioning why a helicopter was circling their neighborhood last week. Chief David Cebulski says the operation was part of a larger federal investigation and that it will have a significant impact on crime and safety in Fargo. At this point, all we really know is that the DEA was involved. Although the operation is over, the chief says details won't be released for another 30 to 45 days. Grand Forks police say the 6 people hurt in an early morning crash yesterday are affiliates of the musical artist B.O.B. who had a concert in town Sunday night.
Authorities say 32-year-old Starsha Swift was driving a vehicle with 6 passengers when she left the road, struck the median, and overturned onto Demers Avenue. She was arrested for DUI, reckless endangerment, and driving under suspension. 2 of the passengers were thrown from the vehicle and needed CPR. The others were treated for injuries which police believe are non-life-threatening. Anyone with information on that crash is asked to call police.
The 2 candidates for North Dakota's lone U.S. House seat held a debate tonight. Incumbent Representative Kelly Armstrong, a Republican, squared off against an independent challenger, Cara Mund. Mund entered the race after the reversal of Roe v. Wade, running on a pro-choice platform for women's rights. Her most notable difference from Representative Armstrong. But tonight, the 2 got into other issues, including the economy, where Armstrong criticized government spending.
Did Armstrong Corporation take PPP loans?
No. Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. I recommend viewers to check federalpay.com and you'll see the facts.
Do you want to respond?
I wasn't a part of it. I'm not sure of it. Our sports bar may have. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm legitimately not a part of any of those operations anymore.
The next debate is Tuesday, October 11th, where Drew Wrigley and Tim Lamb will face off in the race for North Dakota Attorney General.
North Dakota will likely have a $750 million surplus by the end of the 2-year budget cycle in June.
As Joel Crane explains, that has some lawmakers eager to pass expensive legislation.
North Dakota is in a good place financially. While some parts of the country are facing dire economic circumstances, lawmakers in Bismarck will likely be arguing about what type of tax reform to implement. As of now, legislators have some big ideas about what to do with our surplus next session. Tax cuts. That's just one big-ticket item that'll be on the docket in January.
In times of high inflation, I think it's important that taxpayers have all the money that they deserve, that they've earned, at their disposal.
But political leaders disagree about where tax relief should come from. Governor Doug Burgum's proposal would eliminate income tax for 60% of North Dakotans and cost $500 million per biennium.
This actually affects more North Dakotans if you lower income tax, because there are more people in North Dakota. That's 60% where we're eliminating their property tax. 60% of North Dakotans don't pay property tax.
Senator Donald Shively's proposal has a price tag of $340 million per biennium and would lower property taxes by 25% statewide.
We think this is more relevant and more personal and a better choice for that.
The governor also plans to address what he sees as an overburdened childcare system.
We've put together a framework that can turn childcare from a workforce challenge into a workforce advantage.
But according to the Nonpartisan Legislative Council, the state is consistently spending more than it collects in revenues, and these several $100 million proposals would further exacerbate that problem.
To the extent possible, that we should use the one-time revenues for tax relief and spending needs in order to limit the impact to ongoing revenues and spending.
But proponents of tax breaks say maybe less spending is exactly what state government needs.
In strong economic times, there is a propensity to possibly overspend, and I think this is going to help us with that in the future.
The legislative session begins in January. According to the Office of Management and Budget, this year's $750 million surplus will be the 4th highest in the past 20 years.
That's Joel Crane reporting.
Meanwhile, fire crews are still trying to figure out what sparked a fire that left dozens displaced from a South Fargo apartment Sunday, including one family of 4 with their 2 pets.
Pretty much everything is gone. We really have nothing left to get back.
Reminds other families to have a fire safety plan in place. They're also urging you to make sure your smoke detectors are working properly. A GoFundMe has been set up to help the family get back on their feet. You can find that on our VNL News app. Just click on this story.
NDSU Homecoming Week is underway with several events planned. Today, students met at Union Hall for the Serve with the Herd Community Service Project Day. NDSU students will spend thousands of hours teaming up with organizations to give back to the Fargo-Moorhead community and develop skills to help them in life and their career.
Not only are we having an impact on campus, we're having an impact on the community through campus. I think that really completes what we're doing here. I mean, that's our whole goal, and it makes it feel like all this time we've put into it is worth it.
The fact there's so many smiling faces coming in as they go out of the community, and then also as they're coming back onto campus once they're done volunteering for the day, it definitely is super exciting to see.
And at 7:30 Thursday night, there will be a homecoming show and coronation. We have a full list of those events on our website, valleynewslive.com.
And check this out. A North Dakota bow hunter looking to harvest a white-tailed deer got a bit more than she bargained for. That's not a deer. Recently, Brianne Zetz says she was hunting southwest of Minot when a curious moose approached her. She stayed calm, as you see, and filmed the roughly 2-minute close encounter with her phone. She shared it on Facebook. It's gone viral. That is up close and personal with the moose. The moose poking its nose between the blind twice before it took off. No one was hurt. Great story to tell.
That's pretty